Okay, today is Monday, June 29th, around 11 a.m. Spent a good amount of time trying to get some things done the last few hours. Woke up with the intention of reading my June essay, which is live now on Substack. It's not the greatest audio. I apologize, I can't control the level so much. The June essay was a very weird experiment. Not really, because I've kind of leaned towards abstract stream of consciousness stuff for a while now. So go listen to it. Hopefully, it doesn't hurt your ears. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it will have physical repercussions, but the music might be a little bit louder than my speaking voice, so it might be a little bit annoying for some people. But it's a stream of consciousness, so you're supposed to disappear within this 16-minute audio file anyway. If you can just shut your eyes and listen to it, and hopefully it sounds all right. I don't think it's that bad. I was messing around with some other apps trying to figure out how to control the background volume and figure out how to do this all on my phone to make it sound as professional as possible without spending any money. And I didn't really find anything yet. But this talk is about song number 2 from Tribute Velvet. The song is called Old Habits. And it changed over the last 2 days. I had a very heavy David Bowie Low tribute. If you know David Bowie Low, it's a part of that krautrock electronic era of, I think he was in Berlin for that one. I talked about Iggy Pop, the Idiot. I think that's around the same time period, which I never rated it David Bowie Low. I never gave it a numeric rating because I don't really know it that well. David Bowie Low from 1977, the 11th studio album by David Bowie from 1977. Yeah, it was influenced by German bands krautrock. Tony Visconti was a producer, a part of the Berlin trilogy. So maybe I gotta listen to that one today. I'm making a list of things to listen to, so I'll put that on the list of things to check out. But I changed courses because I didn't like how it sounded. It sounded like a kazoo, like a really annoying, like I can't even do it, mimic it with my vocals. But it sounded like a kazoo noise, whatever I was trying to create. So I just gave up on it and started again fresh. And luckily, I came up with this mellow, Brian Eno inspired ambient texture that I really liked. Then I added some simple drums. Do 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 do. It almost sounds like the A Team. Dun 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 dun. If you know the show, the A Team. Dun 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 dun. That's maybe where I got it subconsciously because I used to love that show as a kid. B.A. Baracus, Mr. T. Yeah, that'll be another song I do. Now that it's in my head right now. I'll do Mr. T Mohawk. All I Want is a Mr. T Mohawk is a song I'll do at some point, which is very inspired by NoFX. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I even said it when I shared it earlier this year. I'm gonna make a note for myself to do that song. Yesterday I was running up and down the driveway and I was like, I need something to rock out to. So I found. Hold on one second. I want to make a note for myself. I found this video on YouTube, and it was really good. It was all the NoFX songs that were done in ska and reggae. And it's such a good summertime mix. Maybe I'll share it. Mr. T Mohawk. Yeah, that's just reminded me to do that. All right. So anyway, I'm going up and down my driveway, listening to NoFX, all their ska and reggae classic songs. Like I'm all out of angst. I love that. Dun, 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 dun. It's impossible not to get energized by No Effects. Some of their more horny songs, ska, reggae. They even cover "Radio" by Rancid. I think that's a Rancid song, right? Radio, radio, radio. Johnny Appleseed, and well, just from the decline alone, you know how talented El Jefe is with the trumpet and whoever plays horns on those songs. It's so good. So I would recommend listening to No Effects. Make a mix of their ska and reggae songs, and you can find it on YouTube if you search it. No Effects ska music, and it'll come up on a good little mix. It's really good, and it gets you so pumped up. At least myself, 'cause that's what I was running to in high school back in the '90s. When I did track, I would listen to stuff like that. But anyway, when I was putting this song together this morning after I did my essay, I was like, I really hate how it sounds, so I had to change course. Like I said, go for a more mellow vibe, and I think it works. This song is called "Old Habits." It's track number 2, and maybe I'll share some Brian Eno stuff since um, I'm kind of going down that path. I think I made a note for myself to share David Bowie, White Zombie, Breeders, Skatonic by Real Big Fish. I think these were just songs I was listening to yesterday. Kim Gordon. But I'll share a Brian Eno song too. And I'll share All Outta Angst since I just mentioned that. All Outta Angst by No Effects. I'll share some of these songs when I do this post. But maybe the Brian Eno influence is the greatest. The melody I just shared for this song could have been something inspired by Music for Airports, because it kind of has that vibe, I think. Very peaceful. It could have gone on for 20 minutes if it was that type of a song, but it's not a long stream of consciousness, this one. It's more of just a very quick get your thoughts out and be done with it type of thing. So there you go. We're halfway through, or what? I have 2 songs left now, I think. I have 2 songs left to do: Tribute Velvet, the title track, and Mute the Trial, which I'll do on Wednesday morning. Tomorrow morning will be Tribute Velvet. So there you go. I got 4 songs done of these demos. This one didn't take too long. The real issue was reciting my June essay, and I hope it sounds okay, because people who can't read or can't or blind people, they could actually listen to it and still enjoy it. So, and I just wanted to dictate it because it's a weird. If you read it yourself, you might get a different tone in different context. But when you hear me read it, you know when I'm trying to be exaggerating stuff, and I'm trying to be cute and whimsical with some of the phrasing in the way I speak these words. It could change the meaning of the whole essay of is life just one big stream of consciousness. That's what I was going for. Took me about a week to put all those lines together. There's a line about Bryce Harper, because listening to a Phillies game, they mentioned that he was searching for the ghost of his past or something like that. It's in the essay. I did include it. I was really struck by that sentiment, because I think a lot of people do that. That's what a midlife crisis is for some people. You try to get in touch with your not your inner child, but your younger self from even maybe 5-10 years ago. You have various ghosts inside of you, right? And I think that's what he was talking about. Since he was a teenager, he was probably the golden boy of baseball savior, and he's probably got a lot of those feelings to go back and think about. Maybe he likes that feeling of knowing that everyone's coming for him because he's the he's the chosen one, Bryce Harper, kind of like Wayne Gretzky was, I guess. So I think that was a cool line to put in there. And I wrote this as a completely stream of consciousness thing, the June essay I'm talking about. This is kind of a combination of everything I did the last few hours. The June essay was much more difficult. It was about 16 minutes of reading these long-winded streams that don't really go anywhere, but kind of do. Hopefully some people might find something humorous and laugh, or laugh at how I'm speaking when I was reading the essay. Hopefully it provides somebody a smile. But that was difficult. I tried for like an hour last night around 11 before I was going to sleep, and I just couldn't get through it all. I was losing breath. I was losing patience with it. So I was like, let me go to sleep. Woke up, and I did it in maybe 2 tries. It was really more of a volume issue. I think the music's too loud, but I couldn't fix it, so I just went with it. Maybe on headphones it would sound better, because my phone speaker can't really do a justice of what the levels are at. Or not really, but I think the music might be a little bit too loud. But yeah, so sorry about that. For this song, I think it's okay. I think I want the music loud, like a shoegaze style, so I can, even though I'm not singing, I'd rather have the music at the forefront of an album like this. I think that's how the Velvet Underground kind of did it as well. I'm going to add something else to this Substack post. It's a band called DRAAG. I don't know how to say that. But they're a shoegaze band that I found a couple years ago. I could go look them up right now real quickly to give them a proper introduction, because I don't even know how to say the name of their band. DRAAG band. And this will see if they have anything new out too. DRAAG is a 5-piece shoegaze post-punk band from LA. DRAAG, I guess it's just drag, I don't know. Go check it out though, it's really cool. A female singer. It is very shoegazy. Somebody led me to this on a YouTube recommendation, and it hit me pretty good. They do have an EP from this year, so maybe I'll check that out later. So yeah, I listened to their album yesterday when I was running, and it was really good. I like the production of it. So I'll share a song from them if you want to go check them out too. I don't have much to talk about. I'm glad I was able to at least fight through the frustration and get these thoughts out, because it wasn't easy to do the June essay. It really wasn't. I kept struggling to hit a mark that I was happy with, but eventually I got there, and yeah, thankfully. It was getting pretty frustrating last night. I tried like 50 times. But sometimes you just have to just give up and go back the next day, and I think that's what led me to do this, so I guess that's some advice for people. Just don't give up. Just go back at a different time when your head's in a different place. And yeah, I guess that's mostly everything I wanted to talk about today. I mentioned the David Bowie thing, the album Low. Well, I also mentioned the song Wipeout, because when my first rendition of how this song would go, Old Habits, the music that I composed from the synthesizer on my phone app, it was very like a Wipeout thing. I don't know. For some reason, it reminded me of Wipeout. I can't even remember it now. But the way I did it and reconfigured it, I think it actually reminds me of Phantom of the Opera just a bit. And yeah, I'll still share White Zombie, because there was a part of the first one that reminded me of White Zombie, and they're one of my favorite bands too, so I'll share a song from them. I really only know one of their albums that I listened to, Astro Creep. I had it on a cassette, or a blank cassette, I think. And I just rocked out to it nonstop in high school. It was so good. It's still really good. So that's what I have for today. I'm not going to speak for too much longer. I really didn't plan anything. I just wanted to talk about the experience last night of being frustrated. Of I couldn't get this June essay done. I just kept going and going, and eventually I did it this morning after having a good night's sleep. So this is one of the shorter songs. It's about 4.5 minutes, so it's not exactly radio friendly. I don't think any of these songs can be a radio song. I don't think so. But I'll focus on that after I get through this album. I have 2 songs left. I said Tribute Velvet is rather long. That one will take a while. Mute the Trial is also pretty damn long. That might be even longer. So the next 2 songs of the next 2 days are going to be close to 6, 7, 8 minutes, which would get me far over that 30-minute mark that I look to get to. Even on a six song album like Tribute Velvet, there's only 6 songs, but they're very long and drony. And I said I'm a drone guy, so it's probably good I selected this album to do on my own in that drone type of mentality, that I can do something like this in my own way with limited capabilities, but I'm not complaining. I could still make ambient noise and add some percussion. And when I'm making an album like this, the drums don't really matter to me. I want to listen to the Gas, Narco Pop, or what's that band called? I can't think of their name. But that's what I'll do today, since I really don't have anything to talk about. I'm going to go through my list that I made a while ago of my favorite ambient albums that I made on AOTY, and I'll talk about maybe 10 of those right now. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Something I was planning to do when I had time was to rank a bunch of stuff in the far, far future when I really don't have much to do. So I have a list on AOTY of my favorite ambient albums, and Stars of the Lid. That's the band I couldn't think of a second ago. Stars of the Lid. I don't think they use much in terms of drumming or percussion. It's just the zone out music. Juliana Barwick, Brian Eno, Stars of the Lid, Celer, Celer, Forest Fang, Cluster, another German krautrock band, William Basinski, really interesting album, The Disintegration Loops, Sachi Kobayashi, I found her on Bandcamp, Japanese ambient artist. I'm going through the ones I really haven't mentioned before. I don't know how to say this person's name. Faten Kanan. Faten Kanan. Fatenkanaan. Sorry, I don't know how to say her name. Tim Hecker, he's pretty well known. Dan Deacon, I've spoke of before. Alejandro Morse, another Bandcamp find. Time Warp, WHARP. Hani Arani, yeah, that's really zone out, Icelandic. I think she's from that region. That type of zone out music that will just totally transport you somewhere. Popol Vuh, yeah. A lot of krautrock I mixed in with ambient music because it fits that type of atmosphere, in my opinion. Patricia Wolf. There's Asra, BV Dub, Off the Sky, and Peak. The Raji, I've talked about. Walt McClements, Mary Lattimore, yeah, I'm a big fan of hers. There's a Cluster and Eno album, 1977. So Brian Eno must be like the hardest working person. He was doing everything. It seems like that at least. Anything else I want to talk about in this list here? Somebody I found not too long ago, Nimitu, Nimetu. Really interesting use of just weird textures. Like one of them is like Into the Hive, and it sounds like just bees and stuff. It's really interesting. Raul Lovasoni and Francesco Messina. I think that's from the 70s too, 1979. Yeah, it's a lot of that ambient. It's minimalistic. Stephen Halpern, Crystal Sweet from the 80s. A Winged Victory for the Sullen. Yeah, definitely good. Hiroshi Yashimura, John Hopkins, Steve Roach. Yeah, definitely legendary. He's still doing stuff. Caitlin Aurelia Smith. Found her not too long ago. Slow Dive. Slow Dive is like that middle of ambient, dream wave, shoegaze. They could do all that stuff. But I put Pygmalion as more of an ambient album. I gotta listen to that one again. I was really into that maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I would listen to it all the time. Drew McDowell from 2024 had an album, Ambient Noise, and that's reminding me of Vincent Clarke from Erasure. He had one too, his solo project. All right, so there's a lot. I don't want to go through everything. Daniel Avery, Alessandro Cortini. I'll share this link. I have like 300 plus albums on here. So you could just shuffle it and pick one at Ramden, and see what hits you. Random. Ramdon. Team Ramrod. You could just pick one at random and see if it connects with you. If you follow the link to my AOTY page, Album of the Year. But I don't have much to talk about besides that. I don't even know if I can pick a song right now to read the lyrics for. Usually something pops in my head at this point. I wanted to say Brian Eno, but I don't know if he ever had lyrics. Does he have any lyrics? Brian Eno lyrics. What will pop up? I don't think he's a word guy. But he's done so many things, and I'm sure there are something. Alright, so according to Google, I should look up Here Come the Warm Jets. Let me see if I could find one. Babies on Fire. Alright, let's look at that one. That sounds interesting, and that's the first one I saw. Babies on Fire. Let's look that up. Brian Eno lyrics. Babies on Fire. Never even heard this song before. It's off of, I don't even know what album, because he's got like a million albums. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's on, I don't know what the name of this album is. Okay, it's on his debut solo album, recorded in Majestic Studios in 1973 with Robert Fripp. Eno performed song in the live album with Kevin Ayers, John Cale. And I don't know if it has a album title. I don't know. I'm just looking at Genius right now. But whatever, I'll look it up later. We're going to read the lyrics now, and that's how I'm going to close this short talk. It was only about 25 minutes or so. This is Babies on Fire by Brian Eno from 1973. Babies on fire. Better throw her in the water. Look at her laughing like a heifer to the slaughter. Babies on fire. and all the laughing boys are bitching, waiting for photos. Oh, the plot is so bewitching. Rescuers, row, row, do your best to change the subject. Blow the wind, blow, blow, lend some assistance to the object. Photographer, snip, snap, take your time, she's only burning. This kind of experience is necessary for her learning. If you'll be my flotsam, I could be half the man I used to. They said you were hot stuff, and that's what baby's been reduced to. Juanita and Juan, very clever with maracas, making their fortune selling second-hand tobaccos. Juan dances at Chico's, and when the clients are evicted, he empties the ashtrays and pockets all that he's collected. But baby's on fire, and all the instruments agree that her temperature's rising, but any idiot would know that. Alright, there you go. Maybe I can look now. It's from 1973. Baby's on Fire album. Because I feel bad if I don't mention that now. I gotta have the OCD. It just says it's on his... Okay, Here Come the Warm Jets. Baby's on Fire, according to Wikipedia, is the third track on Brian Eno's 1974 debut solo album, Here Come the Warm Jets. So that's the name of the album. Pretty cool album cover. Never heard this one. It was released in 1974. There you go. So good. Maybe I'll listen to that later too. That's what I'm saying. My brain works like that. Now I have to listen to like 4 albums. And they mentioned Hawkwind. That's pretty cool. The album features numerous guests, including his former Roxy Music bandmates, along with members of Hawkwind. I never heard of these other ones. Well, King Crimson, yeah. Matching Mole, Pink Fairies, Shark. Yeah, I never heard of them. Well, I guess that makes sense with Robert Fripp. I think he was involved with this somehow. Yeah. Alright, well, there you go, everyone. Go listen to some Brian Eno today. That'll make you happier. I had a moment maybe 10 years ago like that with music for airports, where I listened to that on vinyl after seeing it buying it at an estate sale, and it totally shifted my brain. Like I had one of those epiphany moments, like what the fuck am I listening to? I knew some ambient stuff. I did know Stars of the Lid from many years prior to that, because I had a subscription to eMusic, and I always would just buy what they recommended. There's another one, No Pussyfooting. That's a great album with Robert Fripp and Eno from 1973. Like, yeah, his discography is just insanely intimidating. Brian Eno's got hundreds and hundreds of stuff with collaborations and his own stuff, and yeah, production credits. It's just maybe the most intimidating deep dive would go down every Brian Eno. Anything he worked on would take like years and years, and he's still doing stuff, I'm sure. So there you go. Yeah, go listen to Brian Eno today. You're having a bad day. You're sick of your news feed on your social media, whatever your headache is and your bullshit. Put on some Brian Eno, whatever album. But I guess I'd recommend Music for Airports, because that's probably my favorite one. I've listened to a good deal of it, of his ambient stuff, but not even probably 10% of everything. Music for Airports just has a special place, because that was the one that started this journey of getting into ambient back in 2018, and then through 2020 and 2021, through all that shit. It was a good experience with a different type of music. Terry Riley, yeah, amazing, man. I love Terry Riley. the rainbow and curved air. I can hear it in my head because I was listening to that like every day for like a month. So I should mention Terry Riley more. But that's all for today. Stay tuned tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Tomorrow is going to be the same thing. I'm going to go later today. I'll try to make the music, if I don't have it already, for Tribute Velvet. And I'll kind of practice it a little. Look at the lyrics, see if I hate anything. These are fresh lyrics from maybe 5-6 months ago, so it's not that old. But sometimes I'll see a lyric and I'm like, man, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Like the angry video game nerd. What were they thinking? But that's all for today. Thanks for listening. I did get to 30 minutes of a ramble somehow. And yeah, that's your assignment. Go listen to some Brian Eno. Give him some love because he'll make your day appear less hectic, less anxious, less paranoid, less hateful. Go listen to some Brian Eno. I wrote in my book they should play Brian Eno not just in airports, but in grocery stores and Walmarts and Targets and gas stations and 7-Elevens. They should just play Brian Eno in every store in America. Just to calm people down in their daily lives. I think that would be interesting experiment, at least for maybe like a weekend, to see how people react to it. You're in line at a grocery store, and instead of hearing the same old commercial cardboard crap, you listen to ambient music. It's going to give you a different emotional level within yourself. I really do believe that. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You walk into like a Buddhist monastery and they're doing some meditation with, I don't know, whatever music, Tibetan chants or other stuff. It is going to change your disposition. It's going to change your mood, your whole attitude, for majority of people at least. But that's all. Thanks for listening. This has been Evolution of a Song, whatever number, I don't remember, maybe 14. Evolution of a Song for old habits, and hopefully it doesn't sound that bad.